Hey, but that's better, isn't it? Can you hear me now? My apologies. I had my mic muted. So for the 36 people who have already tuned in, you couldn't hear anything because I had muted my mic. But anyway, once again, hey, welcome to Friday Night Live. This is the Scoreboard guy, Guy Newcomb, alongside here for the next hour and one half. I hope everyone out there can hear me. So we will see what's going on. Let's just run through the scores we have right now with 11:03 remaining. 11:03 remaining in the fourth quarter. Rockbridge and Camdenton are all tied. Carthage and Joplin are in overtime at this point. They're all tied up. Charleston defeats Hayti 20-8. And let's just get some scores here whilst we can. And again, I do apologize, but I'm having some issues here with my audio. So let's just play a commercial right now and see if I can't get this stuff figured out. My apologies.
I'll have the avocado toast, minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything is so expensive these days.
Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America. A super strong and capable Chevy truck.
And a high-tech Chevy SUV.
Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together, we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate! Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network. Guy Newcomb, and I apologize for that, but we will run through the scores now as we have them right now. Tipton leads Fayette 34-0 in the third quarter. It's Lee Summit. They defeat Park Hill South 50-10. That has gone final. Platte Valley over South Holt 60-12. East Atchison defeats Stewartsville 48-0. It was Wright City over Veritas Christian 45-0. SLU hangs on. They defeat Vianney 21-20. Rockport in the third quarter leads Nottoway Valley 44-36. St. Dominic, they defeat Riverview Gardens 28-24. Elsewhere, Seckman, they defeat Pattonville 27-13. Rittenhour over Oakville 38-0. Scores brought to you by Liona Labor's Local 663. Hey, they remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Elsewhere, Fox defeats Northwest 49-7. It was Rittenhour over Oakville 38-0. Festus shuts out North County 31-0. Winnetaka over Lincoln 35-7. Washington in the fourth quarter leads Liberty 56-34. Blue Springs in the third quarter on top of the number one ranked Rockhurst Hawklets 30-13. And that last report at the half, Lafayette leads McClure 48-0. Final scores: Perryville, they defeat Jefferson 42-36. Kearney over Green Valley 29-6. In the fourth quarter, Howell Central leads Timberland 27-14. They have gone final Eureka, and they stay unbeaten on the season. They defeat Rockwood Summit 36-7. East Buchanan over Penny 10-7. That is the final. Final score from Chaminade: DeSmet defeats Chaminade 44-7. Hillsboro, they defeat Windsor 64-24. We have reached out to Bill Sukarski, the Hillsboro head coach. Salem over Willow Springs 28-14. Elsewhere, final score: West Strand defeat County 39-22. At the half, Bolivar was on top of West Plains 14-13. Wellington Napoleon in the fourth leads Oric 44-0. Warsaw, they defeat El Dorado Springs 61-0. Clinton, they get a victory over Versailles 20-6. Bowling Green defeats Van Far 52-6. Valley, they shut out St. Genevieve 53-0. Farmington in the fourth quarter leads Union 49-14. Also in the fourth quarter, Howe on top of Troy Buchanan 27-26. In the fourth, Thayer leads Kabul 60-6. And this just in, with 7:54 remaining in the fourth quarter, Rockbridge gets a long run for a touchdown. They go up 27-21 right now with 7:58 pending the extra point. Elsewhere, Charleston, as I mentioned, they defeat Hayti 20-8. Brookfield over Gallatin 52-0. West Strand defeats Scotland County 39-22. East Buchanan over Penny 10-7. North Callaway defeats Louisiana 38-14. South Shelby over North Platte 38-0. St. Francis Borgia, they defeat Father Tolton 24-14. Mount Grove gets a big win over Liberty 44-24. And Lamar falls again as Nevada gets them 20-19. The extra point is good by Rockbridge. So they are up now 28-21 with 7:58 remaining in the game. Scoreboard, as always, brought to you by Doak Propane. Doak Propane for all your propane needs. See the folks at Doak in Polk County and surrounding counties. So wherever you're listening from, hey, we encourage you. Hey, go to our Facebook page and like us on Facebook. Go to YouTube and subscribe. And anytime we go live, you will get the updates and be aware that we're going live. In 8-man football was Appleton City over Osceola 62-20. First, let's talk about last night's games. It was Marquette over Hazelwood East 24-17. Nixa defeats Kickapoo 48-13. Parkview shuts out Springfield Central 48-0. And Wright City shuts out Veritas Christian 45-0. From tonight, in 8-man football was Appleton City over Osceola 62-20. Concordia defeats Mound City 55-10. It was Mound City. Concordia defeats Santa Fe 55-10. Mound City over DeKalb 50-28. Greenfield defeats Jasper 48-6. Lockwood shuts out Liberal 63-0. New Heights over Plattsburgh 54-24. Elsewhere in 8-man football, Hardin Central defeats Slater 60-12. Platte Valley over South Holtz 60-12. It was Worth County over Stanberry 58-0. Page 1 brought to you by the Chevy Dealers of the Ozark. Chevy Dealers of the Ozark sponsoring our Chevy Dealers of the Ozark Athletes of the Week. You can go to our website at MissouriSportsNetwork.com and pull up our Athletes of the Week each and every week of the school season. Page 1, East Buchanan over Penny 10-7. Brookfield over Gallatin 52-0. Charleston defeats Hayti 20-8. Elsewhere, Marionville over Pierce City 36-12. It was Salisbury over Marceline 34-8. Ash Grove defeats Skyline 34-14. South Shelby over North Platte 38-0. Bowling Green defeats Van Far 52-6. West Strand over Scotland County 39-22. On page 3, Ava defeats Houston 43-7. Butler over Colcamp. Butler over Colcamp 40-6. It was Grandview over Herculaneum 14-7. Sullivan over Herman 20-12. Lafayette County defeats Holden 42-21. Perryville over Jefferson 42-36. Elsewhere, Nevada defeats Lamar 20-19. Mid Buchanan over Lathrop 19-6. Valley Catholic, they defeat St. Genevieve 53-0. Expect to be hearing from Valley Catholic head coach Jed Nager here in just a minute or two. It was Warsaw over El Dorado Springs 61-0. Page 3, Seneca defeats Carl Junction 56-6. Westminster Christian over Lutheran South 42-6. Forsyth defeats Reed Spring 40-14. Raytown South over Excelsior Springs 27-7. It was Hillsboro defeating Windsor 64-24. We have reached out to the head coach at Hillsboro, Bill Sukarski. And with 5 minutes and 39 seconds remaining, Camdenton gets a long pass for a touchdown. Pinning the extra point, they could tie it up here with 5:33 remaining. And we welcome to the show now the head coach of Valley Catholic, who I guess got disconnected. So maybe he'll try and call back. Camdenton now is attempting their field goal. And it is good. Now we welcome to the show now the head coach of Valley Catholic, Judd Nager. Coach Nager, thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you very much for having me on tonight.
And I apologize. I got to the phone call just a little bit late there. I know you've called
That's
twice.
okay.
But, Coach, a big win tonight over St. Genevieve. Tell us about the ballgame.
Oh, our guys are doing a good job. I think they're doing a good job Monday through Thursday, getting themselves ready, and I think it showed on the field tonight. Wildfire had a big night throwing the ball. I think he was 10 of 13 for 320 yards or something. And I think he had 4 or 5 scores, and the defense limited them to right around 60 yards offense. So it was a complete team win.
Outstanding. 5-1 on the season. Did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
Yeah, we did. Knock on wood, everybody's upright and ready to go, except for we got JD kid that's out. But other than that, you got to be kind of happy that you got 54 of 55 guys out there ready to go this time of year.
Outstanding. Coach, you've got Central Park Hills next week. And I know you haven't really had a chance really to see them, but you're familiar with them. What are you going to have to do next week to come out on top?
Oh, they're coached as well as anybody out there, and the way it looks like they're getting another last 7 wins, so I think they're going to come in 5-1, and it'll be the conference championship against the returning, Class 3 state champion. So, there's, not a lot more you can say about a ball game than that.
No, that's pretty exciting. At what point during the season? Now we're 60% of the way through the regular season. Actually, more than that because there's only 9 regular season games. But at what point do you maybe start taking a peek at the districts to kind of look at matchups and making sure you got a home game throughout?
Well, you just kind of play the games. I don't really look at the seeding or nothing. We played Colorsville last week, who was one of the competitors for that 1 seed. So that that kind of gives you a little bit of a buffer there. If you do end up being the 2 seed and they're the 1 seed, you get to kind of jump them from that perspective. But we're just trying to do what we try to do every year and work on getting a little better.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here on a big night for Valley Catholic, big win. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll get to visit with you some more as the season goes on.
All righty, man. Thanks.
Hey, you bet, Coach. Thank you. Valley Catholic head coach Judd Nager, they're kind enough to join us here. We've also lined up Matt Webb from Maryville. He'll be joining us at 10. At 10:30, we're going to hear from Frank Tristan from Glendale as they get their first victory of the season. Elsewhere, just some updates here coming in out of the green room. Coach Archer and Kent Mueller are in the green room. Hey, want to go ahead and kind of cross-promote our other shows we've got going on. Huddle Up is on every Thursday morning. We've got Where Are They Now Wednesdays, every Wednesday morning at 7 with Playing on Sports Kent Mueller. All of these part of our YouTube channel as well. You can go and watch any of the older airings of those shows, as well as had High School Game Day on today. Had a loaded show today with team coaches, football coaches, softball coaches, and our Athlete of the Week from Lebanon High School. And also visit with Stockton head coach Luke Rader today. And nice visit with him. There is 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the Rockbridge Camdenton game. Clock is stopped at 4:30, all tied up. It is Rockbridge football at the Camdenton 45-yard line, 2nd down and 2, as the ball was out of bounds. So the clock has stopped. Elsewhere, St. Francis Borgia over Father Tolton, 24-14. South Shelby defeats North Platte 38-0. It's Mountain Grove. That's a big win for Mountain Grove over Mountain View Liberty, 44-24. And we had Coach Swafford on last week. Probably won't bother him on back-to-back weeks, but that is a big win for his team. And Rockbridge, long pass, 40 yards down to the 5-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal for Rockbridge in a 28-28 game with 4:19 remaining in the game. You're listening to the Missouri Sports Network on MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Going back and just updating some of the scores. We've reached out to several coaches here tonight. Again, late in the game, it was Tipton over Fayette, 34-0. Lee Summit defeats Park Hill South, 50-10. In the 4th quarter, New Heights Christian, they are leading Plattsburgh 60-28. Platte Valley over South Holt 60-12. That's a final. East Atchison defeats Stewartsville 48-0. It was Wright City over Veritas Christian. That's a game from last night, 45-0. SLU hangs on. They defeat Vianney 21-20. In the 4th quarter, Rockport leads Nottoway Valley 44-22. St. Dominic, they defeat Riverview Gardens 28-24. Seckman, we've reached out to Coach Nick Bear from Seckman, but they defeat Pattonville 27-13. Rittenhour over Oakville 38-0. Final score is Fox. They defeat Northwest Cedar Hill 49-7. Elsewhere, final Festus defeats North County 31-0. Winnetonka over Lincoln 35-7. Was Washington. They defeat Liberty. Oh, I'm sorry, they're up in the fourth quarter late. Washington on top of Liberty 56-34. Elsewhere, a final and maybe an upset as Blue Springs knocks off the number 1 ranked team in the state, Rockhurst 30-13. Elsewhere, final score, Perryville defeats Jefferson 42-36. Kearney, they defeat Green Valley 29-6. In the fourth quarter, Fort Zumwalt South leads North Point 37-35. In the fourth quarter, House Central leads Timberland 27-14. Eureka, they defeat Rockwood Summit 36-7. And I reached out yet again to head coach Jacob Sumner, and we'll see if we can't get Eureka on. But they're kind of rolling right now, so he's maybe a little superstitious. Final score, East Buchanan over Penny 10-7. DeSmet defeats Chaminade 44-7. Hillsboro, they defeat Windsor 64-24. Salem over Willow Springs 28-14. West Strand defeats Scotland County 39-22. Bolivar, they hang on. They defeat West Plains 20-3. In the fourth quarter, Wellington Napoleon leads Oric 44-0. Warsaw defeats El Dorado Springs 61-0. It was Clinton over Versailles 20-6. Van Far, they fall to Bowling Green today 52-6. Elsewhere, St. Genevieve Valley, and we just read or interviewed or visited with Coach Jed Nager. They'd win 53-0. It was Farmington. We welcome to the show now the head coach of the Seckman football team, Coach Nick Baird. Coach Baird, thanks for joining us.
Hey, happy to be here.
Coach, you get a big win tonight. Tell us about the game.
Yeah, good Pattonville team. I know they're coming in with a record, 1-4, but they play a tough schedule. Marquette, Lafayette, Fort Dumont North, Kirkwood. So, we knew we were coming up against a good team, and they're fast and athletic. And, game kind of started out with us scoring early, putting the ball up in the air, and then they scored with a fake punt. So it's kind of back and forth early to get 14-13 at half, and kind of put it to our guys at halftime, and they did a great job responding, and we scored the next 2 unanswered points and ended up closing out 27-13, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
Coach, tell us a little bit about some of the young men who kind of stood out for you today.
Yeah, part of it was the offense. We're down our best back this week. Brady Ambrose is out. He'll be back next week. Our second back broke his ankle on the first drive of the game, Mason Fowler. So, we're kind of down to our third, fourth, and fifth guy, and they stepped up. Lineman did a great job, and we were able to get it done tonight.
So 6-0, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It never gets old. We kind of told our guys a lot of our games this year where, we've been up at halftime 30-0 or, a couple scores. That's just not reality. Tonight we found ourselves in a dog fight, and it was fun to see our guys come together and work through it and get it done in the second half.
You got Parkway South next week. What do you know about them?
Conference opponent. So we've been playing them a lot lately. They actually play Saturday. We're playing them on a Thursday, so they're going to have a very short week, along with us. And they've got a good tailback. They'll be athletic. Their line's pretty big, but we'll be ready.
Coach, at what point during the year, and maybe not ever, but you kind of maybe start taking a peek at the district standings just to make sure that you're going to get, home field advantage at some point?
Oh, we started peaking last week. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie about that. Kind of seeing how the landscape will work out in Class 6 District 1. You got Lindbergh, Jackson, very tough teams, and then you've got teams we've already played in Oakville, Northwest, and Fox. And kind of seeing where it plays out, and it's kind of one of those things. If we take care of our business, we're going to be right where we were last year and right where we want to be.
Now, Sam, did you come out of tonight's game relatively healthy?
Like I said, Mason Fowler, probably our number 2 back, number 3 back, great kid, quarterback, running back type kid for us. Ended up breaking his ankle, so that's hard to see. And we're hoping to use this short week here to get a little healthy in a few other positions, but we're not playing chess out there, so those things happen sometimes.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being part of the show. We have a rule here that once you make your third appearance, you are officially a friend of the show. So you've been a friend of the show for a while.
Oh, good. Yeah, I need all the friends I can get.
Coach, hey, congratulations on the win, and we will talk to you soon.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Have a great evening.
Yep.
Seckman head coach Nick Bear, and that district he was talking that he's in, he's 6-0. I'm not sure what Lindbergh did tonight. They were 4-1 going into tonight. But Seckman at 6-0, they're in first place. Lindbergh is in second, and Jackson is at third. And I think they had a big matchup tonight as well. There and I'm sorry, I'm trying to text and everything else. We're just getting back with Coach William Duke there at Tipton as they got a win tonight. I'm going to try and get him on the show this evening at some point. We will have him on, Dr. Duke. But yeah, and then Northwest Cedar Hills at the bottom of that district there. There's just the 6 teams in that district, and we'll run through some districts here if we have time tonight. We're starting to hear back from coaches now. Rockbridge gets in the end zone again, so with a minute 49 to play in the fourth quarter, it is Camdenton ball. They are down 35-28 to Rockbridge. The ball is on the Rockbridge 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for Camdenton. And the clock is stopped right now with 1:51 remaining. And the snap. Quarterback is going to take off and run. He's going to try to get to the out-of-bounds line. And he does not make it, and he does not make a first down. So the clock will run at under a minute and a half now to play in this contest. 35-28, Rockbridge on top of Camdenton with a minute 27 and counting. Well, now Camdenton has called a timeout to stop the clock. 2nd down and 2 in the fourth quarter. And we will run down some of the scores, kind of updating here. Teams have starting to go final. Sullivan over Herman 20-12. Nevada hangs on and they defeat Lamar 20-19. Yeah, if you guys are out there, you are watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, hey, send us a chat. Pops up right on my screen. You got a question, a comment, or a query, just let us know you're listening here on Restream. This is the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And we welcome to the show now Maryville head football coach Matt Webb. Coach Webb, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, Guy. I always appreciate coming on.
Coach, you get a big win tonight. Tell us a little bit about tonight's contest.
Yeah, we played Benton out of St. Joe, and we ended up final score 49-7. It's a good conference win for us, a good MEC win. We're able to put kind of 2 back-to-back here with a win over Cameron and then a win over Benton. And again, just thought we did a good job of kind of, hitting that after week 6 type of time in our season to where we've kind of had some youth, not only in our defensive backfield, but kind of new skill positions on especially on the offensive side, and just feel like we're executing a little better and running the football well. kind of got our backfield style and our wing T style sets on offense. Kind of a multitude of backs that are really running physical. Just feel like that's kind of made a difference the last couple of weeks. And then again, like I said, our defensive backfield's coming up and doing a good job in their unfits. And we only have one senior, kind of coming back from last year's team, and Cole's Arbano. He started off the night defensively with a pick six for us and kind of got us rolling. And that kind of helped in the first quarter, and kind of fed off that, and kind of pulled away 35-0 at halftime. But I'm just proud of the way our guys are playing in all three phases tonight.
Guys come out of tonight's game, healthy.
Yeah, it's that time of the year where everybody's kind of got some nicks and bruises. It's one of those things where you just never know what's going to be the next man up mentality. We've kind of dealt with that the last couple of weeks with some key players for us, kind of thankfully not being season ending, but getting it back at certain times. And if we're going to need to be healthy to come up district time have to make a good playoff run. So we've got a really good athletic training program, and those guys are getting in and getting healthy. But we're as healthy as anybody is right now.
Coach, you guys you talked about your conference schedule a little bit. Kind of handicap that right now. What does the conference look like right now through week 6?
Well, St. Pius is kind of at the kind of the ring of the roost, or kind of being able to have probably has the best path to kind of win out and then win it outright. With them beating us a couple weeks ago, and a few weeks ago, certainly an extremely talented team, and statewide, I'm not sure how much everybody kind of knows, but they announced last week that this will be the last year in the MEC in football. They've elected to not play an MEC football schedule anymore, and they certainly have kind of grown that program to where they've got 116 kids on the team, and 17 coaches, and certainly do a good job in that Northland area of attracting really good talent. And they've just they're class 5, from a mission standpoint, the way they classify them this year with their success factor. And so they've kind of got probably the clearest path to maybe win it outright. Obviously they've got a tough game with Savannah coming down the road, and another good quality opponent there that that week in and week out that they'll have to survive. But I would say they probably have the inside path to win the conference right now.
Coach, and you've got a very good team next week as well. You're going to take on a Lutheran North team on Saturday of next week. What do you know about them?
Well, it doesn't take much to know much about them. I mean, they may be ranked class 4, but we're just a little old class 3 school up here in the Boot Hills of Northwest Missouri in the middle of cornfields. But I can't imagine there being many teams in the state of Missouri that have more talent than they do on the field. I mean, my goodness, they just every position, is extremely athletic, extremely well coached. We've played them, last couple of years, and you're just very impressed with the way he does things. I think going in this game last year, nobody really gave us a fighting chance to win. One of the top ranked teams in class 4, extremely talented. And we were able to kind of go over there and claw out a win, and certainly it's been competitive. They're extremely talented, and then extremely well coached squad in class 4. And it's kind of the schedule we've been dealt here. You play from everywhere. You're going to play a top ranked team in Blair Oaks at the beginning of the year, and then you're going to you play a good class 4 team in Pleasant Hill, and then you got St. Pius throughout the year. That's now class 5, and then it was interconference, and then Coach Webb, who's also the athletic director here, schedules Lutheran North week 7. So I don't got anybody to complain to except the mayor when we look at scheduling. But we feel like you combine them and our tough schedule, it'll really prepare us well for a district run. This game next week doesn't really hurt us in our district standing much. With laying up a level, but it's great competition and it gets good people, and it's kind of a unique thing to play on Saturday afternoons like the big boys do. It's a fun environment. We kind of meet at a neutral site and chill coffee, about close to halfway for both of us, and that way nobody gets back too late. It's kind of a unique thing, but kids have a lot of fun with it.
You bet. You mentioned preparing for the postseason here. You guys obviously are in a good district as well. You're sitting atop that right now. At what point do you kind of take a peek at that district, those district standings?
Well, you look at them, I think, every week and kind of see who won, who lost. There's some familiar opponents within our district that we play, throughout the year, whether that be, Chillicothe, Cameron, so those, type schools that we play within our conference. But at the same time, you look and see what Richmond's doing week in, week out. You look and see what some of the other schools are doing. And I think any coach that, again, I'm the first one to preach 1-0. The only thing we're focusing on is a really good Luther North squad. But, any coach that comes on here and says they don't look at district standings every week, I think it's a liar. So you kind of look and see what the possibilities might be and who's going to play where and what your home games look like and who's going to get to buy. And you look for those things that, when you get to this time of the year, you look at possible matchups and then where you stand.
Well, outstanding. Coach, as always, we greatly appreciate you being generous with your time. And I'm going to have to get up to Maryville again. I was up there last year before the season started, got to meet with a lot of your coaches there from your high school and some other high schools around the area. And need to get back up and do that again. But
you came up in the summertime. You went Northwest Missouri, you got to come up around Thanksgiving, somewhere where it's a little bit colder, and you get a little bit of, experience of some Nebraska, Iowa, weather up here. The wind's always blowing, and it's never as warm as whatever the temperature says. So, we've got a brand new facility here with turf fields, video board, some great stadium, environment. And, we're really fortunate and blessed to live in a community that loves high school sports and loves supporting our kids. And I'm extremely proud to be the coach and athletic director. So, you're always welcome to come up here, Guy. I'll take you out to pizza ranch or something. We'll go get a buffet.
All right. Coach, well, I appreciate it. Hey, have a great evening. Enjoy the win, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Guy.
You bet. Maryville head football coach Matt Webb, they're kind enough to join us here on the show. We will step away, take a quick timeout, and then we will come back. After that, we'll run through the scores again. We'll be joined by Alan Hilliard from Alan Hilliard Sports around 10:15, and then 10:30 we'll hear from Glendale football coach Frank Tristan as he gets his first victory as the Glendale head football coach. Rockbridge, just update Rockbridge and Camdenton. Camdenton does get a safety, but following a turnover with 16 seconds left, it's Rockbridge up 35-30. They went for it on 4th and 16. They threw it out of the back of the end zone for a safety, but that there is a personal foul called against Camdenton. And I'm assuming that will be assessed on the kickoff because it was well after the play. So they will have the opportunity to kick off or punt following this safety. But now it's a 5-point game. So if you get in the end zone, game over. Not going to overtime here. No way to score 5 points on one play in high school or any level of football. Hey, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and visit with Alan Hilliard Sports after these messages.
Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State Campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetin.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. We go now to Alan Hilliard from Alan Hilliard Sports, who's making his long trek back from Glendale High School to his house after covering the Glendale Waynesville game. And a little bit of a surprise there. Glendale played very well.
Glendale had a very good game. Quarterback Newberry, he was part of at least 6 touchdowns in that ball game. I think he may have been part of every touchdown because he either ran them in or threw the pass. I don't think there was an actual rushing touchdown by Glendale in the ball game from a running back.
Well, and this just a real quick update here. The Rockbridge-Camdenton game has gone final as Rockbridge hangs on, and they defeat Camdenton 35-30. So Rockbridge gets a win there.
That was one of the games I was watching along with the Joplin-Carthage game throughout the night.
Yeah, did you ever see a final from Joplin-Carthage?
I did not. Our game ended before that, and I packed everything up. I probably should have kept monitoring that ball game, but it was overtime, and neither team had scored yet.
Yeah, they may still be playing. I'll have to check in on that game as well. Rogersville comes back, and they defeat Hillcrest. They were down most of that game, and they get a big comeback win, 29-23 over Hillcrest. I'm not seeing the Rogersville score yet, but I bet it will pop up here pretty quick. And it will. It is. Carthage wins 23-20 in overtime, and that's from the green room there in Archer. I didn't have to look that up, but so they get a win, 23-20.
See, I was gonna. If Joplin would have won that game, they would have guaranteed themselves a second place in the district. But that still puts them in that limbo mode, tied with Ozark right now.
Yeah, and Ozark, they got handled pretty well by Lebanon tonight. But I don't know. We'll see. Any other scores surprise you?
Well, I've seen a very good Lamar-Nevada game again. Lamar has had some very close games this year.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what's going on there. I know at the beginning of the season, they had one of their better players was out with injury, so he may still be out.
But Nevada being state ranked, I mean, that's still a very quality, ball game, win or lose that, especially just by 1 point difference.
Right. Anything else kind of jump out at you?
There were some rather high scores here, but Republic and Webb City was the other one in the COC that kind of surprised me how close it was throughout the entire game.
Yeah, I was watching that game here, and it was kind of back and forth. Webb City, they went 3 and out on their first 3 possessions, and it looked like Republic's going to run away, and they were going up and down the field, but they got 1 touchdown and missed the extra point. And that kind of led to a situation where then it was 6-0 at half, and then Webb City comes out, first play from scrimmage, they go about 74 yards for a touchdown to go up 7-6. And then it was just kind of back and forth from there.
Yeah, something that I don't know if many people appreciate, but I graduated in 2005, and you couldn't just go watch a high school game on the computer. But now, especially the COC, I mean, nearly every team puts out nearly a top quality broadcast of their football games.
Yeah, I'm sitting here in the studio, and I've got 6 screens, 2 TVs, and 4 computer screens set up. And so I've been watching. I've got 5 TVs. I watched a little bit of the Smithville Platte County game. I watched the Camdenton Rockbridge game with just got over, and then also watched the Lebanon game. So an opportunity here that, for what we do, it's kind of, normally you'd have to go out and find scores, but
And it's really good, especially when you're broadcasting a game and you can, pull up literally the live video of another game going on in the conference and kind of give updates on close matchups and things like that. That's just one of the things, instead of having to go searching like you used to on a message board for scores.
I don't even know if the message boards even exist anymore. I
don't know. What were they, mosports.net back in the day or something?
Yeah, there was something like that. We just got another final. DeSoto defeats Fredericktown 45-20. St. Clair over St. James 42-14. And Dexter defeats Kelly 48-8. And Central out of Cape, they defeat Potosi 34-26. And Pacific over Owensville 62-14. So scores continue to come in. And with the weather, like it has been, kind of unseasonably warm at this time, they had some water breaks tonight that they were forced to take. And so that made a lot of games go longer. And then you've got the Camdenton game that just got over, but that's because Camdenton's got that wide open offense and they throw the ball all over the field. But
you didn't have too bad conditions down in Springfield. It was 87 degrees, but really wasn't too humid today. It was kind of a beautiful day for football. Didn't have any, I don't think we had any injury stoppages or water breaks or nothing during the game. Just kind of a perfect day for football, really.
You bet. Well, where are you at next week?
I am at Waynesville as the Tigers host the probably one of the best teams in Missouri, the Nixa Eagles.
Ooh.
Waynesville Tigers, by the way.
All right. Well, hey, we may jump back on here with you at the end of the show, but we need to go through the scoreboard and read off a bunch of scores here, with some of them just having gone final. And we've got actually have Glendale head coach Frank Tristan coming up at 10:30. And we've reached out to the Rogersville coach, Mark Talbert, to see if he's able to join as they get a win over Hillcrest tonight. But Alan, hey, thanks for checking in, and safe travel home, and we'll holler at you either later on in the show or after the show.
All right, appreciate it. Tell the coach you did a good job tonight there.
All right, you bet. Thanks, Alan. That was Alan Hilliard from Alan Hilliard Sports. There's a lot of games at every level there. Salem defeats Willow Springs 28-24. Blair Oaks over Blue Valley Southwest out of Kansas 59-28. Let's check our score stream. As always, you can go to scoreboardguy.net. Actually, I probably just need to go to MissouriSportsNetwork.com. And you got a whole host of things. You can click on some college scores, college scoreboards. You've got the On Deck show with D-Row and Arch that's on every week as well. You've got the Where Are They Now Wednesdays. You've got the Athletes of the Week, the interviews that we conduct with the Athletes of the Week, the Teams of the Week. And then you just click on the scoreboard and you go right into scoreboardguy.net for all the high school football scores. And as I mentioned, hey, send us a chat. I mean, there's several hundred people listening right now. Where are you listening from? What game were you at? What game tonight surprised you on the scoreboard? Let's refresh this page and go back and see what we have at this point as we make our way back up to the top of the screen here. Still haven't updated the Tipton game, but I'm assuming that's a final, and they won, but I don't know the final. Elsewhere, it's Norborn over Slater, 60-12. Lee Summit defeats Park Hill South 50-10. New Heights Christian, they defeat Plattsburgh 60-34. Platte Valley over South Holt 60-12. You're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind us, hey, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Also presented by Liuna Labor's Local 663, who reminds us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Also presented by the Bank of Billings. Bank of Billings established in 1889. The oldest bank in Christian County. Getting back to the scores, it was East Atchison over Stewartsville, 48-0. Bishop LeBlond, they defeat Kansas City East Christian, 64-24. Wright City over Veritas Christian last night, 45-0. SLU defeats Vianney, 21-20. Excuse me. It's Rockport over Nottoway Valley, 66-42. St. Dominic defeats Riverview Gardens, 28-24. Seckman over Pattonville, 27-13. Rittenhour over Oakville, 38-0. It was Fox defeating Northwest, 49-7. Festus over North County, 31-0. Winnetonka, they defeat Lincoln out of Kansas City, 35-7. Washington over Liberty, 56-34. I don't know if that's gone final yet, but that was late in the fourth quarter. Final, Blue Springs, they defeat Rockhurst, 30-13. Lafayette over McClure, 55-0. McClure defeats Perryville defeats Jefferson, 42-36. Kearney over Green Valley, 29-6. It was Fort Zumwalt South over North Point, 37-35. House Central defeats Timberland, 27-14. Eureka over Rockwood Summit, 36-7. East Buchanan defeats Penny, 10-7. It was DeSmet over Chaminade, 44-7. Crystal City defeats Roosevelt, 22-20. It was Oak Park over St. Joe Central, 52-13. Hillsboro defeats Windsor, 64-24. Salem over Willow Springs, 28-14. Belton defeats Chrisman, 27-20. Elsewhere, Western defeats Scotland County, 39-22. Lawson over West Platte, 34-15. Bolivar defeats West Plains, 20-3. Bolivar kind of getting on a roll now, playing well. Wellington Napoleon over Oric, 44-0. It was Warsaw over El Dorado Springs, 61-0. Clinton defeats Versailles, 20-6. It was Bowling Green over Van Far, 52-6. Valley Catholic shuts out St. Genevieve, 53-0. Farmington over Union, 49-21. KIPP Kansas City, they defeat Turner, 34-6. Troy Buchanan, they hang on. They defeat Howell, 34-27. Thayer, 70. Kabul 6. Summit Christian defeats University Academy, 24-21. Stratford over Hollister, 56-18. Stratford's rolling. That's 6-0 for the Indians. Worth County over Stanberry, 58-0. Liberty North, they defeat Staley, 54-28. With St. Michael over Van Horn, 30-20. Rolla defeats St. Mary's, 35-31. St. Pius X, they defeat St. James Thunder out of Lenexa, Kansas, 27-20. Elsewhere, St. Clair in the fourth quarter, at last report, leading St. James 42-14. That's probably gone final. Also in the fourth, St. Charles over St. Charles West, 40-27. That's probably going final. Fairgrove, they defeat Springfield Catholic 43-7. Southern Boone over Eldon 39-15. South Shelby shuts out North Platte 38-0. South Callaway defeats Harrisburg 32-22. Platte County over Smithville, and I watched that right here in my studio, 51-14. You can go back to high school game day and you can see the interview with Smithville head coach Josh Spear. Ash Grove defeats Skyline 34-14. Well, Stockton over Sherwood 57-14. And go back to the high school game day again, and you can hear that interview with Stockton Tigers head football coach Luke Rader. Caruthersville over Scott City 28-0. With Schuyler County defeating Southwest 70-22. Salisbury over Marceline 34-8. Rockbridge, as I mentioned, that just gone final. They defeat Camdenton 35-30. Richmond over Carrollton 56-7. And in a battle, Republic hangs on and they defeat Webb City 15-13. First time in their school history they've beaten Webb City in back-to-back seasons. Actually, back-to-back games, because they played them in the state tournament last year in a relatively very similar game. Forsyth over Reed Spring 40-14. Lee Summit West over Ray-Pec 21-14. Raymore Peculiar now 0-6. Something peculiar going on. Putnam County over Polo 22-20. Albany defeats Princeton 96-46. Pleasant Hill over Harrisonville 41-28. Pembroke Hill defeats Hogan Prep 47-8. St. Joe Christian over Pattonsburg 70-38. Paris over Knox County 60-20. Pacific over Owensville 62-14. Lebanon defeats Ozark 42-21. It was Orchard Farm over Winfield 35-7. Warrensburg defeats Odessa 50-42. Oak Grove over Center 44-0. Northwest defeats North Shelby 52-42. Was Rich Hill over Northland Christian 60-28. North Callaway defeats Louisiana 38-14. Neosho, they defeat Willard 49-14. Neosho's played well this season. Mount Vernon, they hang on. They defeat Cashville in a back and forth game 35-28. Montgomery County defeats Mark Twain 40-16. Monroe City over Palmyra 36-20. Was Moberly over Marshall 42-8. Sarcoxy defeats Miller 28-22. We've got Trenton and Milan. It says final score here 28-28. That's not possible. So a misprint there as well. And we welcome to the show now Glendale head football coach Frank Tristan. Coach Tristan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you bet.
Coach, big win tonight. What's it feel like to get the first one at your alma mater?
Yeah, it was good. I think the kids are really excited. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Tell us a little bit about the ball game. I understand your quarterback had a really big game.
Yeah, I tell you what, our defense, what Waynesville does, they kind of single wing, and our defense really stepped up and did a great thing. I mean, I was really proud of those guys. And then our quarterback, we kind of felt all week that we could take some advantage of some things, and he did. He was Cash was really accurate throwing seam routes, and we were really proud of that. He probably had some throws he wishes he had back, but what really opened us up in that third quarter was his legs. Extended some drives, running the ball, and then kind of made them balance up again, and then he hit a couple big throws. So, yeah, Cash played really well.
Did you come out of tonight's game relatively healthy?
We did. As a matter of fact, just before I got on the phone here, I talked to our trainer, and he said that was the first time I didn't have to go out in the field this year. So that was a win for us in another area.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach, congratulations on this win. And what do you feel like you're doing well right now? And I know it's a new system coming into a group of kids that are unfamiliar with it going into the season. Are there some things where you kind of feel like you're turning the corner?
I do. I think our, offensive line wise, we're going to the right people. They've never run block before. And then when you see different defenses every week, just getting to the right people is a huge part of that equation. And so, we're doing that. We're picking up when teams are blitzing. We're protecting the quarterback better. I felt this game, regardless of any opponent, this game was our best at just spreading the ball around a little bit. Sometimes we get real focused on just a couple people. And I felt like quarterback-wise and offensively coaching, we did a much better job of getting guys the football. We have some talented kids. We just need to get them in open space, and so we did that well. And this was the second game that I really felt we fit well defensively. All of our guys were going to their fits. If you get gapped a couple times, that's not so good. So we've started to really fit and start to learn the defense a little bit with our younger guys. It's obviously it's good to win, but you want to just play well, and that's one of the things I felt like we're continuing to play better.
Was the weather at all an issue tonight with it being so warm?
It was funny. I told the guys in our pregame team meeting, I said the warm up is going to be the hottest part of the game, and it really was. At about 7 o'clock, the wind kind of picked up just a little bit, and man, it kind of got cool. It was a beautiful night. It really was.
Outstanding. Well, you've got an Ozark team next week at Ozark. Obviously, a little bit familiar with them, having been at Willard. But what are you going to have to do next week to come out on top?
Well, I think offensively we'll continue. They have to be balanced. We didn't run Jalen very much. Jalen Lockett, he's had 250-yard games, and we didn't run him very much tonight. I think we'll have to be a little bit more balanced offensively, and then defensively they do a ton of stuff. They're good at creating some mismatches. We're just going to have to be real disciplined defensively, and we'll have to be able to. Special teams, we've had a couple blunders, which, when you're 1-5, those kind of things happen. And so we just got to clean up those little special teams things, because close ball games, that really gets dangerous.
It does indeed. Well, Coach, hey, big congratulations on you. Look forward to hearing you talk about your team at the Springfield Area Quarterback Club, Bambinos, and always enjoy you being there. And Art Haynes, I know he had some nice words to say to you about the weather. I guess.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, we appreciate it, Guy, and I appreciate what you do for high school sports. It's awesome.
All right. Coach, thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Coach Frank Tristan from Glendale, kind enough to join us. And the weather, that's just his wife is the weather lady on TV for Color 10, I believe. So that was I shouldn't have made that kind of an inside joke, but now it's an outside joke. So anyway, Glendale remaining, they're at Ozark next week, then they're at Lebanon, then they finish up with Nixa. So 3 tough games coming up for the Glendale Falcons. And as you look at their district right now, their district, Branson sits atop. That district, Branson is now 6-0. Republic's 5-1. Parkview is 3-3. Willard is 2-4, and then Glendale, who is 1-5, but they can't jump Willard because that's one of their losses. But Hillcrest is at the bottom of that at 1-5, and Springfield Central is 0-6 in that district. All right, let's run through the scoreboard again. I know scores continue to come in as they get updated, and we have most of the scores. And by morning, we'll have all the scores. And if we don't have it, it didn't happen. But you're listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. Let's run through the scores. Then we'll hear from Tipton head coach William Duke, Dr. Duke, here in a few minutes. It was Norborn over Slater. 60-12. Lee Summit defeats Park Hill South 50-10. It was New Heights Christian over Plattsburgh 60-34. Platte Valley defeats South Holt 60-12. It's East Atchison over Stewartsville 48-0. Bishop LeBlond over Kansas City East Christian 64-24. Wright City shuts out Veritas Christian last night 45-0. Slough over Vianney 21-20. Rockport defeats Nottoway Valley 66-42. St. Dominic over Riverview Gardens 28-24. Seckman remains undefeated. They defeat Pattonville 27-13. Rittenhour over Oakville 38-0. Fox defeats Northwest 49-7. It was Festus over North County 31-0. Melville defeats McClure North 24-16. Winnetonka over Lincoln 35-7. Washington over Liberty, Wentzville, I believe, 56-34. Blue Springs defeats Rockhurst 30-13. Maybe the surprise score of the night for me. Park Hill over Liberty 21-17. Lafayette Wildwood defeats McClure 55-0. It was Perryville over Jefferson 42-6 or 42-36. Kearney defeats Green Valley 29-6. It was Fort Zumwalt South over North Point 35-37. Howell Central defeats Timberland 27-14. Eureka defeats Rockwood Summit 36-7. It was East Buchanan over Penny 10-7. DeSmet defeats Chaminade 44-7. Crystal City over Roosevelt 22-20. Oak Park over St. Joe Central 52-13. Hillsboro over Windsor 64-24. Salem defeats Willow Springs 28-14. Belton over Chrisman 27-20. It was West Strand over Scotland County 39-22. West Platte defeats Lawson. Lawson defeats West Platte 35-15. Bolivar over West Plains 20-3. Wellington Napoleon, that's still in the third quarter. That game's got to be over, and I'm assuming Wellington Napoleon won because they were winning 44-0. Elsewhere, a final Warsaw, and they continue to roll. They defeat El Dorado Springs 61-0, and I think they're hanging on to that 1 seed in that district with Lamar. And Lamar may have dropped to a 3 seed at this point. They'll get bonus points tonight for playing 2 classes up with Nevada, but they did lose. And we welcome to the show now Tipton head football coach William Duke. Coach Duke, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Coach, you get a big win tonight. Tell us about tonight's contest.
We went to Fayette tonight and played a very good Fayette Falcon football team. Their starting running back was averaging like 9 yards a carry so far this year. Great running back. They have a tandem with 2 kids there, Carter Vroman and Mike Estes. Those guys run the ball very well. They're very confident in what they do. They believe in their head coach, Cole Hinton, and it was homecoming night for them. So we knew it was going to be a challenge for us, but the Tipton Cardinals showed up and played very, very unselfish, fast-paced, physical football.
Coach, you come out of tonight's game relatively healthy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks be to God.
Good. Who are some of your guys that really kind of stood out for you?
Well, I think it starts with the offensive line, and if we go from left to right, we got Woody Weekend, who's a junior, Sam Duke, who's a junior, Nick Wolf, who's a junior, Ben Beshin, who's a junior, and then Chance Petrie, who's a sophomore, followed by our tight end, Ty Vick.
Coach,
James Schlotzhauser, also an underclassman.
Wow. So you guys are relatively young.
Yes, sir. The senior running back, number 8, Lucas Gassman in the backfield, who had a big night at 5 touchdowns on the ground.
Coach, at what point during the season do you kind of start peaking at that district? Right now you're sitting atop that district. Now your score's not been updated, but you're not going to go down. But at what point do you kind of start to peak at that and maybe get a home game and maybe get a bye?
Well, Misha has it set up now. So in Class 1, we have a 10-team district. So we were just kind of talking about that on the bus ride home. I'm still in the bus at the story. Yeah, I apologize. Not really sure how 7, 8, 9, and 10 are going to work for a play-in game. I mean, we obviously look at it. The players look at it. Bishop puts it out there and calculates points, and kids are looking at it. So we address it with our team, but really we address it to the point of we can only control what we do on a Friday night. We can't control what anybody else does. So while those distant points, we notice it, we don't focus on it.
As you look forward to next week, you're at Lynn. What do you know about Lynn, and what are you going to have to do to come out on top?
Lynn is this is the first year of varsity. Coach Steve Sampson has a long history of coaching. Played at JC when they were very successful. Coach Hickman is his defensive coordinator. He's coached quite a lot. I mean, those two guys have coached a long time, and I respect the heck out of Coach Hickman down there. He's their defensive coordinator, and putting together a program like that, they get a win already in the first year. When we see them on film, they have some kids that are fast. They have some kids that are playing hard. I think you go anytime you go somewhere on a Friday night, it's not easy to win a football game. Are they going to just forfeit and give us a win? Absolutely not. Coach Sampson and Coach Hickman are going to have these guys ready to go, and we're going to have a great week of preparation.
Coach, talk a little bit about your conference, if you're in a conference, and where it sits right now.
We are actually in the Central State 8. It's the first year for it. So this was a conference game for us, just like last week against Harrisburg. Our last several games of the year are all conference games. And Russellville's in there, South Callaway is in there, Lynn, Fayette, Harrisburg, us. There are other teams, but they don't play football. Eugene and Bloomfield. Hopefully they will get football, and then that will round out the conference. But super competitive conference. South Callaway's been Class 2 for a long time. Been very successful. Russellville's doing great things. I think they went and beat Class 4 Afton earlier this year. So every week is very, very difficult.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach, a friend of the show, I greatly appreciate you being generous here with your time, and I look forward to our next visit, and good luck next week at Lynn, and I know we'll talk again.
I appreciate you. God be with you, my man.
Hey, you too. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Bye.
Coach William Duke there from Tipton. They are 5-1 on the season, and you look at that district that they are in. They're sitting atop that district right now. They're Class 1. Their only losses to a Lamar team before Lamar kind of started to skid, and that was back in week 3 where they got shut out. If you look at that district that Tipton, the Cardinals are in, they got Salisbury's sitting at number 2. They're 5-1. Then West Strand, 3-2. And a lot of these have not updated their scores from tonight. Russellville, Marceline, Harrisburg, Lynn, Crestridge, Fayette, and Cole Camp. So win tonight over Fayette, but they're just 4-1 and 5 now. But that's a 10-team district. So I would assume that 7 would play 10 and 8 would play 9 the week before. Then they would go into that bracket of 8. And Tipton would get, I would assume, the 8-9 winner. But don't correct me or don't quote me on that, because Misha, well, it's Misha. So you never know what's going to happen there. Hey, you're listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly that you've tuned in. Presented by Iona Labor's Local 663, Doak Propane, and Bambino's Italian Cafe. Hey, come out Monday. Doors open at 11. Food's usually ready by about 11:15, 11:30. Coaches arrive around 11:30, 11:45. They get their food. It's a buffet style Italian food. It's $10. And then the coaches from the area high schools will speak. It's at Bambino's Italian Cafe on East Battlefield and Lone Pine. We'll take a quick time out, come back, and we'll run through the scores again, and then we'll get out of your hair. Wherever you're listening from, hey, we appreciate it. Let us know. If there's something we need to change up, something I've had people tell me, hey, you need to go to midnight. I'm not going to midnight. I'm out of breath by 11 o'clock. But hey, keep it right here on the Missouri Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Everything is so expensive these days.
Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America. A super strong and capable Chevy truck. And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate! Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. Certainly glad that you have tuned in. Go to scoreboardguide.net. Actually, just go to MissouriSportsNetwork.com. Click on the Scoreboard Guy link, and you'll get all the high school football scoreboard shows and our scores. And we'll run through them here one more time before we get out of your hair. It is 10:50 here on Friday night, October the 4th, 2024. And I know my dad's not listening, because he's been well asleep, but he celebrated his 81st birthday today. So if you see Mr. Newcomb, tell him happy birthday. On the scoreboard from Thursday night, Marquette over Hazelwood East 24-17. It was Nix over Kickapoo 48-13. Parkview shuts out Springfield Central 48-0. Wright City also shuts out Veritas Christian 45-0. On the Bambinos Italian Cafe Friday scoreboard in 8-man football was Appleton City over Osceola 62-20. Sorry. My apologies. Archie over Drexel 57-6. Again, these are scores from tonight. I do apologize. I'm working on getting a coach in on the air here before we go off the air. Hey, but drop us a line. Sign up and follow us. You can message us at Missouri_sports or at Scoreboard Guy here. And we welcome to the show now Logan Rogersville head football coach, Mark Talbert. Coach, hey, big win tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a wild one. It was one of those crazy emotional roller coaster type games.
Well, tell us about it. 29-23 was the final, and it was back and forth all the time. But the Wildcats get the win. Tell us about the game, especially down the stretch.
Yeah, we kind of struggled early, and we had a really good big play out of our junior quarterback Sam Freeze, and had a great run down the sideline, scored a touchdown, and that was really kind of our only offensive success to speak of in the first half, and honestly through the third quarter, and then we got into the fourth quarter, and at the beginning of the fourth quarter it was 23-7, and we just kind of got into empty and decided we were going to try to press the ball vertically down the field and hit a big play, and then came back on the next drive and hit a big one, and all of a sudden, you could just see hope start to grow in our team. And with 8 minutes left to go in the game, it was 29-23 at that point.
Wow. So how did you your defense obviously played well. What did you make any changes at half or to kind of hold them right there at that 23?
No, defensively we've got a bunch of young men that play really, really tough defense right now, and Hillcrest, I think, had some momentum and had some hope, and we just couldn't break that momentum, and finally took a big play offensively and threw a ball down our sideline, and Sky Vaughn, our freshman receiver, caught it for about 70 yards or something like that for a touchdown, and that just seemed to break the cap off the top of it. And then defensively, at that point when momentum shifts, all of a sudden big plays start happening on defense, and that's what we saw.
Who were some of the guys that really played well tonight that kind of stood out to you as a head coach?
Yeah, like I said, Sam Freeze had a huge run, touchdown in the first half, and then Gaz Mandic, our other quarterback, our freshman, he threw I want to say 2 or 3. I can't remember what our last score was to take the lead. But then Sky Vaughn had some really nice catches, and then Lucas Paris had a great grab at the end of the game to kind of put us in the territory to go ahead and kneel out the clock. But we had several big time plays. Gabe Hale had an interception right over the middle. Cash Clark had a nice interception, and so just a well-rounded team win.
Coach, you come out of tonight's game, you're relatively healthy?
We did, yes. We stayed healthy tonight, which is a blessing.
Now, 2-4 on the season. Now you've got Marshfield, a former conference member, but still a conference member, as I understand it. What do you know about the Blue Jays?
Well, I know the Blue Jays have had some of the success that we didn't have early in the year, and they beat their non-conference teams, and unfortunately, we just kind of weren't ready to play those games yet. And, whether that was my fault or just the fault of having a really young team, we just weren't quite there yet. A bunch of juniors that hadn't played on varsity, and then playing some freshmen and sophomores, and Marshfield's kind of the opposite of that. They kind of went through that last year. They played a bunch of kids last year, and so they were ready to win those games early in the year, and did. And they're a nice running team. They've kind of changed their whole identity offensively and are running a single wing offense and doing a really good job with that. And they always play a really aggressive style of defense. So we'll be anxious to get in and break down the film and see what we see there.
Now you're over halfway through the season here in this new conference. What are your thoughts at this point on the conference?
Yeah, it's a tough transition for us, and we know that. But unfortunately, our community's grown just enough to where we're a Class 4 community, and we're going to stay there. And we haven't grown enough to where it really puts us in the center of Class 4, which is where ultimately you'd like to be, center top. And so we've got some growing pains, and teams like Carl Junction have been playing Webb City and Nixa and teams like that. And when they play Rogersville, that's a little different game for them. And the same with Branson, with the schedule they've been playing in the COC and West Plains in the OC, and even tonight against Hillcrest. I mean, Hillcrest is a team that's playing really, really good competition for the last 7 or 8 years. And not that we haven't been playing good competition, it's just a little bit faster game. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
Coach, at what point do you kind of start looking maybe at the district standings, say, hey, if we can move up here? I mean, next week's a big game for you with Marshall.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to try to host a game, and that's a big deal for us. And winning a Week 10 game, that's kind of been elusive for us. And unfortunately, Hillcrest has gotten us twice, and Monette got us once, and those were games we believed that we could have and should have won, and weren't able to get them. And so hopefully this move to the conference kind of gives us the confidence in beating at Hillcrest during the regular season and playing some tougher teams that, by Week 10, we're ready to win one of those games.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach, congratulations on a big victory tonight. And I was watching it going back and forth, and I thought, okay, this is And I got that final, and I said, I think I've got Coach Talbert's number in my phone, and it's a tremendous win for you. Congratulations, and thanks for being part of the show tonight.
Thank you. I'm so excited for our kids and our community. It's been a tough couple years, and we're just so excited to have a win tonight.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations, and we'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you at the quarterback club.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach. Bye. Coach Mark Talbert there is they get a big win. They're 2-4 now, and that district, everybody but Monette has updated their score. So Carl Junction sits atop that district at 4-2. West Plains is in second, but Bolivar beat them tonight. So Bolivar will jump them. Points-wise, they're in third place right now. Marshfield is sitting at fourth, and then Logan Rogers. So that's a big game next week when they host Marshfield next week. That'll be an opportunity there for them to jump into that 4 spot. But they may end up playing Marshfield again. Either way, they could play Marshfield again, win or lose. But anyway, well, there's not enough time to get through all the scores. Again, I'll read as many as I can here. I'm not sure exactly where we stopped, but I've got a good idea. In 8-man, it was Greenfield over Jasper, 48-6. Bishop LeBlond over Kansas City's Christian, 64-24. King City defeats North Andrew, 36-30. Lockwood shuts out Liberal, 63-0. New Heights over Plattsburgh, 54-28. Rich Hill defeats Northland Christian, 60-28. Northwest over North Shelby, 52-42. Paris over Knox County. Paris over Knox County, 60-20. St. Joe Christian defeats Pattonsburg, 70-38. Albany over Princeton, 96-46. Rockport defeats West Nottoway, 66-42. Schuyler County over Southwest, 70-22. Hart Central defeats Slater, 60-12. Platte Valley over South Holt, 60-12. It was St. Paul Lutheran over Sweet Springs, 62-60. Worth County shuts out Stanberry, 58-0. And Tarkio defeats Stewartsville, 48-6. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to an end of the show. You've been listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. Hey, go get the scores at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. I want to send out a thank you to all the coaches. You know what? There they are. Judd Nager from Valley Catholic, Nick Bear from Seckman High School, Matt Webb from Maryville High School, Frank Tristan from Tipton High School, Frank Tristan from Glendale High School, William Duke from Tipton High School, and Mark Talbert from Logan Rogersville, all part of the show tonight, along with Alan Hilliard from Alan Hilliard Sports. This show will rerun or replay tomorrow, but if you want to listen to it again tonight, hey, just go to the YouTube page, go to Missouri Sports Network on YouTube, subscribe, and listen to the show right there, or go to our Facebook page and like us, and hey, do both. And sign up, as always, to follow us on Twitter at Missouri_sports and at Scoreboard Guy. Hey, and as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, hey, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Good night. God bless.